Hello and welcome to my 35 days of thanking God for the wonderful, wonderful gift of my 35 years of fabulous life. God is good and He is worthy to be praised. And on today's episode, this is episode 24, I am thanking God for the wonderful gift of talents. Okay, I could call them gifts and talents. The wonderful gift of gifts and talents. So I'm thanking God because God has given to each one of us gifts and talents that we can use for His purpose for our lives. You know, sometimes in this life we live in eras where a particular talent is more esteemed than another talent. And that can make people sort of lose sight of the talents that they have been given. Say perhaps you have a talent for cleaning, cleaning, keeping things clean, the environment, your house. And now the world esteems the talent of acting. And now you want to be an actor, you don't want to use that talent for cleaning. Meanwhile, you could have run a multi-million-dollar cleaning services business, employed hundreds and hundreds of people. But because you don't see that talent that God has given you as having value, as being esteemed by society, you might shun that gift. And I pray for people not to do that. I pray that people may truly appreciate and have a good vision of the talent that God has given them. There are many talents in life, and most of the time we only think talent is the three, singing, acting, dancing, we forget that there are many talents. We serve and are made by a creative God. God is so creative that when you look at nature, when you look at human beings, how we are designed, our features, our physical attributes, we are so unique, like our fingerprints are not the same. There's so much of uniqueness in God's creation. The weather can be unique from one day to the next. Creatures, plants, there's so much of uniqueness in the way God has created His creation, and we are His creation. So we shouldn't be narrow-minded in our view of what a talent is. Sometimes a person is not very talkative, they're a good listener. There are people in their lives who talk a lot, and their gift is to be a listener, to be a good listener. And people who talk and maybe think out loud can be so edified and helped and uplifted and kept by the quiet person. There's a strength in that quietness that we may not value because we think being loud and seen is the talent to desire to have. There are people whose talent is to heal, and people whose talent is to fight, to defeat giants like King David, who also had the talent of music, So don't allow society to tell you what matters, what is useful and what is not useful. So many times people will try and impose their ideas and ideals on you. But God made you knowing who you are, where you are, what you need, what you can give to the world. And like Saul, who lost his kingship because he esteemed the opinion of people, he was trying to make his people, his soldiers happy, and he disobeyed God. You don't want to lose the kingdom, the glory that God has placed in you because you are trying to please people. You should rather be a person who only fears God, who is working as unto God. That's one of my favorite verses in the Bible that says everything that you do, the work that you do, the service that you give, you should give it and do it as unto God, meaning that God is the one who sees you, who is looking at you, and what you do should be pleasing to Him more than it is pleasing to yourself or to other people. And when you do that, that's when you are in right standing with God. That is when you are closer to righteousness, So I really pray that people can use the talents that God has given them. If you have a talent for baking, cooking, for hair, for gardening, use that talent, develop your talent. the parable where Jesus speaks about the 3 men who were given talents, 5 talents each. Or I think one got 10. Anyway, y'all know the parable of the talents, right? God gave them talents, and the one guy got 10 talents. The one doubled his talents, and then the one guy said, no, I didn't double my talents because I know you're a harsh God, and I buried it, and God was displeased with him. Sometimes we look at our environment, we look at our circumstances, we look at haters, we look at the things that we don't have, and we make that an excuse for not being fruitful and multiplying the things that God has given us, for not working on the talents and the dreams that God has placed inside of us. And when God comes to ask us, I gave you this, why didn't you use it? Why didn't you move in it? We'll say, oh no, the economy was bad. Oh no, people were hating. No, don't do that. Don't play yourself. Be able to say, when God comes to you, what did you do with that talent I gave you for teaching? What did you do with that talent I gave you for, uplifting people, for encouraging people? Why? There were millions of people whose lives were going to be touched by your word of encouragement, and you were silent, So don't allow that to happen to yourself. The devil is a liar. Pray that God can silence the voice of the enemy, and that you can hear Jesus, our shepherd, because his word says, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. I know them and they shall never die. That's one of my favorite scriptures. So, use your talents, develop them, appreciate them, pray for a good vision of what you can do with them, and do God's will and purpose for your life. All right, that's it for today's episode. Cheers. Thank you for watching.